Hello YouTube, Liz here. I wanted to jump on here and show you some of my finished objects and a few little tips that I've come up with. Well, maybe one or two. Anyway, I just this minute finished my first hat crocheted using the I've heard it called the Divine Hat pattern, and I've also now seen a tutorial showing it as the seashell hat pattern, but here it is. It's the one with all the texture, and I love this yarn, Hobby Lobby's I love this yarn in the colorway of Nova Scotia Sky. It's a worsted weight size 4, and I used a J crochet hook as called for in the pattern with worsted weight, and then use an H crochet hook for the brim. This is how much yarn I had left from that skein. It was a brand new skein, and this is how it fits me. It's pretty big. So I think when I make it again, and I will be making this pattern again because it worked up really fast. I couldn't believe it. I thought, wow, I mean, all of a sudden I was finished getting ready for the brim. So you start out with a magic circle, and then you do, let's see, it's all front post double crochet, just about. You start out with 15 double crochets, and then you start the front post double crochets in conjunction with double crochets around in various numbers. And then when you get down to the brim, you do front post, back post to make a ribbed brim. It might be a little hard to see the stitches with this print yarn, but anyway, I like the yarn is really soft, and so it makes for a really squishy hat. It's nice. It feels bulky, but it's the way it worked up. Mine came out with quite a bit of ventilation, so I don't know, but I'm going to try it again using a smaller hook. Rather than use the J, I'm going to go down to an I, and then I might use an H for the brim rather than a J in the H. But this turned out a little big. My tension might have been too loose, so I'll have to work on both of those things, and then it'll probably be this big. Anyway, I finished a baby blanket. My go-to baby blanket is on Lion brand. They have a free pattern called the Giant Granny Square Throw. And so here it is. It's about, I try to make them about 36 by 36. That's what I shoot for. It sometimes goes a little bit more, but that's been a big success when I've made this baby blanket for everybody that I can. Anyway, I used the Target yarn at Handmade Modern, and the colorway was Rainforest, and I used on the edge, I just went around it with white. I just used, you know, an acrylic white that I had. I think it was I Love This Yarn white. And then this is Caribbean Handmade Modern for the last round of single crochet. What do you call it? The edging, the border. There you go, the border. Okay, then I've been following a tutorial by Jonna Martinez. Oh, by the way, the tutorial I ended up following, this is the pattern that I got from Ravelry. It was a free pattern that I got from Ravelry, and here's what it looked like. And I was like, what? Okay. And when my eyes uncrossed, I thought, maybe there's a tutorial that goes with that. And sure enough, Jonna Martinez had one that I followed, and it was just perfect. And turns out I was starting to watch the tutorial, and I was so engrossed in it, and I didn't pay attention to who was doing it. That's awful. But I just found the picture and saw the title, and I thought, oh, here's one. And I didn't even look down there, and I thought that voice sounds familiar. That's because I'm on row 34 doing a tutorial with her for the High Tide Waves blanket. And here it is. And let me tell you, this puppy's been breaking my head. But every row's different. Until now, the point I'm at now, it might not be. But I've been using Red Heart Super Saver Ombre in Scuba, and I'm going to keep this for myself. I was thinking about various people I could give it to, but then I kind of like it, and I think what I'll do is make that one for myself, and then maybe after I recover from this I might make another one someday. It might go faster. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to make another one of those. You get ambitious when you're making things. You go, okay, the next time I do this. Now the Divine Hat or the Seashell Hat, yeah, I'll probably make another one. So the other day, I finished a hat. I've been trying to keep a hat on my Addy knitting machine. And that, for those haven't seen the Addy knitting machine, it's right here. And what you do is you load it, or whatever you want to call it, cast on, and then you just start making the rounds. And I'm making hats, and you pull, it forms a tube, and then you just pull the drawstring ends. I do a drawstring cast on. That was the word I was trying to think of. Cast on. I do a drawstring on each end, pull it tight, and then double it and tie the tops through, and then that forms the hat. So if you haven't seen the Addy, that's the Addy king size. And not all yarns do well with the Addy, but so far that yarn has. I'm using, I got this Bernat Baby Blanket Tiny, and the colorway is Calico Quilt. This is the first time I've tried this on the Addy. It's a 4-weight, a medium 4-weight, so I thought I would give it a shot. That other little device on my table that I have the Addy bolted to is my yarn winder, the Lacris yarn winder, and I really like that one. So the other day I finished a hat before I started that one. I've been trying to keep a hat on the Addy at all times going. That way when I come in my craft room and I sit down, I just need a few minutes to relax, I can do a few rounds on the Addy and it's making progress. I usually do about 130 rounds to make a nice size adult hat. That one I'm going to do a little smaller for a child. So anyway, I decided I was going to try to make a pumpkin. And here it is. Do not laugh. Okay, you can. But I decided I was going to try to make a pumpkin, so I made a tube. And then I did the drawstring cast on both ends and pulled it, stuffed it. And then I took my yarn and started it at the top ever so often. This looks just awful. It kind of looks better in real life. No, not really. It's pretty crazy looking. This is the best side, I guess. This side, I don't know. But anyway, it's kind of wonky, but I took strands and went down here to kind of give it some shape. That was the general idea, but I'm not sure that I did it right. I don't think I'll try another one on that. You can see it's so loose that you can see the stuffing through there. So anyway, then I made a leaf I found online. I searched for pumpkin leaf, and then I made the little stem, and I did 2 leaves, different colors. And then here's my curly Q vine. So I was real happy the way that came out. The rest of it, I don't know what happened. Probably I used my yarn scraps to stuff it with. When I'm crocheting, I get an old Kleenex box and I write scraps for stuffing on here, and I fill it up. And I used a lot of that in here. So I used some fiberfill too, but I don't know. You can toss it around. Maybe the dogs like it. So I I made some headbands. I made a headband for my granddaughter, and I showed it on my Instagram. I don't have it anymore because I sent it to her, but I took a regular headband like these that you buy at the drugstore, and I had a blue one, a turquoise one, and I crocheted a flower on it with a leaf. And I didn't crochet it on it, I crocheted it and then sewed it with a sewing needle and thread to this. Well, after I got all done, it looked great and everything. I wanted to get it in the mail and some other stuff I was sending. I went to kind of stretch it and I realized those stitches could pop very easily. So to make headbands, I'm going to use my styrofoam head. Her name's Hedra. I was going to put this on Hedra, and then what I'm going to do is when I make the motifs, whatever I do, I have another plan for this. I'm not going to put a flower, I'm going to do leaves, kind of fall leaves or something. Not sure yet. But what I'm going to do is stretch it on here, and when I crochet my motifs, whatever they are, I'm going to sew them while on Hedra. So I think that's a good idea. That way, when it's actually on somebody's head, the stitches won't stretch and break or pull. Because after I got all through, I thought, oh, I'm not so sure about that. But if you can see in the background, that's Hedra's twin, Ivy. She's wearing my Halloween costume. I saw that the other day at Michael's, and I thought that was fun. It's just a headband. Let me see if I can reach it. Yeah. So here's my Halloween. So I can greet the trick-or-treaters at the door. I'm gonna make some tatted spider earrings or something and do a few other little things. I'll fix it up a little bit. But anyway, I got that on sale at Michael's and I had a coupon, so there we have it. I showed my husband, who's not real adventurous with things. I said, shall I wear this to the party we're going to? And he was like, no. So we'll see about that. Anyway, I made this. I'm in the spirit now for fall, so I made this little pumpkin. I thought maybe I would glue a magnet on the back of it and put it on the refrigerator. The eyes look kind of crazy. I tried to put fangs on the mouth, but this is from Happy Berry Crochet's tutorial. She had a video tutorial, and the leaf and the little stem makes a hanger. But I'm not crazy about the way the leaf came out. If I didn't have the face on there, it might be mistaken for an orange or something. I don't know, maybe not an orange, but I think I'm going to take the leaf off and make a curly Q. I thought that would be cute, or add a curly Q. But anyway, that's kind of a fun little thing. And then while I was thinking about it, I really like the sugar skull theme that is popular this time of the year for Dia de los Muertos. And I had bought this red heart amigurumi for the sugar skulls. This is supposed to make 2. I don't see how, but okay. So you take them apart and you pop out the colors and then cut between where the colors are and have to rewind them. So that's a little bit of work before we start that. Okay, so I have 2 of those. I didn't realize when I bought them that each one of them makes 2, so I doubt I'll make 4, but maybe I can give them away to other people that like them. So it's pretty popular around here, the Dia de los Muertos theme. So anyway, I'm going to get started on those. There's a free pattern on how to make it on Red Heart, which is now Yarn Inspirations, but they still have all the Red Heart patterns. I'm not real familiar how to navigate that site yet, but if you just look on there, I ended up typing sugar skull and it came up next to the yarn. But those are cute. So I got those out to do, and I'm pretty happy with the way that the BebaBlanket came out, the Divine or Seashell hat, and working on this has been great. So I have one more thing I'm working on. Well, for all practical purposes. I'm still working on a Jada and Stitches calendar blanket, and I'm still doing the background for it. I got sidetracked with so many other things, but I made a couple of the appliques that go on. I've got my trees, some of my trees made, but that's as far as I got. I need to do a whole lot more, and I thought about doing that today maybe. So, but I really wanted to get this big blanket done first and get it done, because I'm starting row 34, and I think it has 37 rows, so I'm getting really close. I'd like to just get that done before I branch out on the other things. But I have been working on the Bridges of Infinity scarf that Christina at Mother Cow Crochet so kindly showed everybody how to do her pattern. So Christina, this is how it's working up so far. I'm almost finished. I've just got a little bit more to go before I'm done. I had to cut my yarn. I ran it into a knot, and so I really hate that. But you know, you're crocheting along and all of a sudden there's a knot, and you have to cut it out, because if you don't, it will come apart at some point. And this is real slippery. This is Lion Brand Landscapes yarn and Cabana. It's a roving type yarn, and it's real silky, so keeping a knot is kind of tricky. I have to really make sure I weave in my ends well. But Christina's tutorial has you make the length in double crochet, and then you do a twist and sew it, you do a twist in your first row and join it, and then you start your rounds until you get it the width that you want. She suggests about 4 inches, and then you start these looped, kind of like looping rows, a couple of those, and then you start the bridges, which is a single crochet, half double, single crochet, half double, double, and a triple, chain 2, triple, double, half, and single, and that makes the bridges along there. And then when it's finished, you can wear it like this. And I'm really liking, you know, since I got my hair cut real short, I'm kind of liking things more up around my neck. So I'm thinking that this is going to be really nice. We don't really have much winter here in central Arizona, but there will be times where I can wear it, and it feels really comfortable. I really like it. I'm thinking about making another one for a gift as soon as I finish this one. So thank you, Christina. This has been really fun, and it's something that I can work on in the other room. The blanket I've had to do sitting here at my table because it got so big, and then it's so complicated. Every little thing, every row is, you know, it's just a lot to it. It's got a lot of the repeats and everything. Not all the rows are really complicated, but most of them you really have to watch what you're doing. So with the scarf, I can take it into the other room and I can work on those rounds, and I'm really enjoying working on that. So thanks, Christina. Okay, I made an Afghan for my son-in-law. I put it on Instagram. Down below I put my Instagram ID so you guys can go look at it if you want. But I made his Afghan out of this. Each one of these is a foot by a foot, 12 inches by 12 inches, and he's 6 feet tall and he's slender. So I made his Afghan for his 40th birthday 6 feet by 4 feet, and then I put a border around it, and then the last round was single crochet. The border I just did double crochets to make it, just kind of finish it off, because I had already done this part, but I didn't take a picture of it. It was really big, and when I got through with it, I tried to take a picture. I laid it out and I tried to take a picture of it, but it was really hard. I wanted to do a video before and hold it up before I mailed it, but I was so glad. I was so worried the whole time I was making it that I was going to get a hand injury or something, or cut my finger, or some problem was going to happen. I wasn't going to get his gift finished, and that would have put me late getting it. I have to mail it. So anyway, I got it there. It was there on time, and he liked it. So I hope he enjoys it. Yeah, that's about it. And I hope you guys are doing well. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.